Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to the 12th of June 2025. Time is currently 2:22 p.m. Thank you very much, Richie Benno. If you don't know why I just said that, you're probably not a cricket fan. Although there might be some cricket fans now who don't know much about Richie Benno, because I'm pretty sure the last time he did commentate were about 10 years ago, maybe even more than that. But anyway, 2:22 p.m. on the 12th of June 2025. So many twos there. So many twos in the date. Time means there's still about 1 hour and 47 minutes left of trading today. And we have seen a little bit of selling coming in, particularly from about midday. We'll have a look at the ASX today, what's happened. But we do see a bit of an inverted hammer. I actually did Google this just before I started recording. And the main reason I looked at this is because I'll show you in a second or so. I just had a quick look at the XJO chart, and we have the potential of seeing a fairly similar one-day candlestick to what we saw yesterday, which would mean two inverted hammers in a row, which would be a little bit bearish. Sort of makes sense what's happening right now, because we are at all-time highs. Some exciting news. I have banked the first video for my trip, a 20-minute chat on PepsiCo, analyzing PepsiCo. I took a position in PepsiCo about a couple of years ago because I thought it was a high-quality company, looking pretty good value. And I might have changed my opinion on that based off my analysis. And when I made the decision to buy some PepsiCo, I didn't have a look at the financials. So I thought, why not have a look at the financials and challenge my preconceived perceptions of PepsiCo, which was it's a high-quality company. And the other reason I bought some PepsiCo shares was because the share price actually dropped below the 200-week moving average. So look out for that video in September. Although there will be a period in July where I will have to bank a couple of videos because I'll be going away for a few days without the ability to record a video. So sometime in July. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be. Okay, so the agenda for today's video, we'll go through the ASX today, have a look at the best and worst performing sectors, indices, companies. Then we'll get into the top 5 stocks of the day. And there's a bit of theme here. Lots of companies who start with C released trading updates today. So in fact, 4 of the 5 companies in my top 5 all start with C, and the other one starts with B. And then we'll have a look at the chart of the day, and this company's ticker code starts with an A. So for those who love the start of the alphabet, today's your day. A few other interesting announcements that I won't talk about, including Mika Metals, ASX, Lynch Group, and I might just briefly look at Monash IVF because there's a change in leadership for that company. Now onto the ASX today, and I'll just go show you the XGO chart fairly quickly. Yeah, you can see the last 2 days as this sort of a similar one-day candlestick, and it's an inverted hammer. So I did have a look at this just before I started recording, just to make sure it was called out. I think I mentioned it was a reverse, something inverted. No, I forget, reverse hammer or something like that. Anyway, so it's an inverted hammer, and here it is, a bearish pin bar. That looks fairly similar than what we're seeing today. Not exactly the same, but fairly similar. So bearish pin bar. So inverted hammer, and inverted hammer. Here's another one, inverted hammer. So that's maybe at the bottom of a trend. I don't know. Anyway, inverted hammer looks similar than this, where the end price of whatever you're looking at, in this case, the ASX 200, the end price is well below the high of the day and near also the open of the day. So some buying came in through the day, and then we saw some selling coming in later. And you might be able to see this just by having a look at the 1-minute chart for the XJO. So yeah, we have seen a bit of selling, a lot of buying just after open. Actually, no, this was on open, then a bit of selling, and then at about midday, just before the brokers went on their lunch, they decided to buy a lot of stuff because they're so optimistic. Then they went on the lunch, nothing really happened, and then we've seen the extra drop over the last hour and a bit. I'm not sure what's causing that. It could be just American futures. Let's have a quick look at American futures. Yeah, American futures are down. But remember this time yesterday, American futures were down, and overnight Wall Street was flat. Dow Jones was flat, but NASDAQ was down a little bit. The other reason why it might be down today is Asian markets are down. Nikkei's down 0.5% and Hang Seng's down 0.5%. So at this point in time, we're looking fairly bullish because we're doing better than some of the other overseas markets. What about Toronto? Well, Toronto was up a little bit, and that was pretty bullish. That's fairly similar than what we're looking, but a little bit more bullish. Okay, so let's have a look at the best performing sectors today. Oh, energy's had a really good day, not unexpected. So when I typically wake up, I have a look at the I looked at got on my phone. I've got an investor app. I think it's called Investor, and it can take you through how all the markets overnight have performed, all the commodities, how bonds have performed, and the one thing that really the one thing that stood out to me was the price of oil. It was up about 4 to 5%. I didn't really think about it for a while. And then I did see a little bit of rise in Middle East tensions. I think Iran said, some sort of spokesman in Iran said, if they don't make a deal about something, their nuclear capabilities or something, they're going to nuke the United States. So a little bit of tension, increased tension in Iran. I'm just going to have a look. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Iran threats. Because who really is going to take Iran threats that seriously? Yeah, Iran threatens to strike US bases if conflict erupts over nuclear program. They're probably going to nuke, just strike US bases. So I was being a little bit overly dramatic. Trump orders US personnel out of dangerous Middle East as Iran tensions escalate. This is not the sort of thing that would make me change my investing strategies at all. At all. This is not the sort of thing, because these sort of situations tend to be diffused rather than not, but we just don't know. Anyway, so that's why oil is up a fair bit. Let's have a look at the oil chart, by the way. Oil down a little bit now, but yeah, rallied really nicely, up 5.47% yesterday. And I'm really thankful that I did decide to buy some Kroon shares, because Kroon, maybe Kroon should be my chart of the day, because Kroon's chart looks really good right now. So I'm very thankful I did buy some training shares in this one about 2 or 3 months ago. Woodside would be the other one, but as people keep telling me, this is more of a natural gas play. But this chart is starting to look a little bit better as well. Anyway, so that's why energy's had a good day. IT's had a good day. Not sure why, because NASDAQ was down. What's happening there? And a pretty negative day. Well, actually not pretty. A slightly negative day for discretionary and real estate. Gold's had a really good day. I didn't really focus on gold. Gold has been up the last 2 days. I didn't understand why people were selling out of gold the last few weeks, because if you have a look at the gold chart, it still looks pretty good. And yeah, nice little rebound in gold. So my gold plays hopefully are doing really well. So I have quite a few gold plays. I'm hoping West African Resources had a bounce. Yes, a nice bounce there. No way I'll be selling out of that one, because share price has pulled back. Meek Metals up 12.5%. Kaiser Reef up 2.78%. I was having a look at Bellevue Gold the other day as a nice little market has overreacted play. And those are my gold plays, although I haven't bought any Bellevue Gold right now. Okay, let's move on to the ASX 20. And ASX 20's had a negative day. There you go, down 0.22%. So I'm assuming, with materials down here, resources up, materials down. I'm assuming iron ore's had a bit of a bad day. Let's confirm that. Yes, iron ore is down. Iron ore is down. So I'm assuming the whole reason why the ASX 20 is down, because a few of the banks have had a bad day and iron ore companies have had a bad day. So let's have a look at that. Confirm my thoughts on that. And in fact, only 6 companies have risen today, even though the overall market is up. Only six of the big companies on the ASX have risen. And by market cap, BHP indeed is down 0.82%. I'll assume Fortescue's down 2.84%, and Rio Tinto's down 1.08%. And a bit of weakness also in some of the bigger banks. CBA down, NAB down, Westpac down. In fact, all the big banks are down. So I'm not sure how the banks are not down even more than that. And of course, Goodman Group is down because we did see real estate down. So Goodman Group down 1.72%. Companies that have had a good day today include Woodside, not a shock there, WiseTech, which is tech, Telstra, Transurban, CSL. So a few defensive companies have had a good day today. So I would define Telstra and Transurban as good, maybe not good defensive companies, but defensive companies. Okay, now let's have a look at the top gainers. I did have a quick look at this, but that was at about 11 a.m. So this might be a surprise if things have moved completely in the opposite direction. Now, Resolution Minerals, I don't know if this company did release anything lately, but I did receive about 3 emails from different places in regards to this company as being a speculative buy. So that's probably one of the reasons why the share price is higher today. No, they did release something. Oh, no, they traded yesterday and were up 11.76%. So I'm assuming one of the reasons why the share price is up a lot today is because some of these emails, including, I can't remember, East Coast Research, maybe even Next Investors, and someone else. Maybe I can't remember the third one. Definitely 3 mentions of this company. Did they make... Yeah, that's right. Agreement to acquire major US antimony project and placement. I did see that yesterday, and I was thinking, oh, the share price should pop up, and it didn't go up as much as I thought it would. Only up 11.76%. It looks like the major action has been today. So let's have a quick look at the chart for this one. Resolution Minerals, not the sort of announcement that would get me excited, but, and of course, TradingView decides to be silly. Take a little bit of time. Just make sure you look at that chart. Anyway, so it looks like they did a share capitalization based off the chart here. That would have been back in November. Back to top gainers. Highfield Resources, many of these are on low volume. Bioxyne is in my top 5 stocks with a beautiful update. And I say that as a biased investor of that company. Dateline Resources down a lot the other day. I thought there might be a bit of a bounce, and it has bounced up 22.79%. So I wish I was confident enough to have traded that. Yeah, beautiful bounce. Beautiful bounce. In fact, the bounce started yesterday, sometime in yesterday's session. In fact, you might be able to see the bounce. Yeah, the bounce happened at about midday when the share price got to about 7 cents. So a beautiful bounce in Dateline. And again, I wish I was a little bit more confident and play that bounce, but that's okay. And what else? Clover Corperation in my top 5 with another pretty good update from that company. The second good update from Clover in 3 months. And I will take a position in Clover Corporation because of that. I don't think the chart is looking the best, but I think with 2 positive updates in the last 3 months and with the share price and valuation of the company well below where I think it probably should be based off the potential, yeah, may take a little position in Clover Corporation. What else? That's about it. Tauga Group did release something today. I do remember Tauga Group. I'm just going to have a quick look at Cogstate, by the way, because share price of that company is up. I didn't see him release anything. No. Change in substantial shareholding from Australian Ethical. But the Tauga Group did release something, and I completely ignored it. It's more of a story stock, this one. Tauga secures key mine permit. Yeah, did not even think twice about opening this one. But the share price is up. Let's have a quick look at the chart for Tauga. Is it time to get excited? No, not really. Not for me. Not the sort of announcement that would get me overly excited. Okay, so that's the top gainers by percentage change. Top gainers by market cap. We have Drone Shield. Keeps on going up. Electric Optics. I think it was a down day yesterday. Good day today. And I'm looking for anything of note. Monash, nice little bounce. We'll talk about Monash in a second. Austin Engineering down a fair bit yesterday. Nice little bounce there as well. So that's about it. Top losers. Alvo Minerals, down 60%. That's interesting. Not a lot of turnover, but they must have released something. Oh, okay. Looks like they did a capital raising. Okay, we can move on. Not the biggest fan of capital raising. Cettire, stock of the day by far, share price down 31.18%. Close the loop, another company in my top 5, down 22.39%. So I think I have mentioned all my top 5 stocks except one. And it's not a shock that this company is not in the top gainers or top losers just yet. It might be in the top losers by market cap, but we'll wait and see. Island Pharmaceuticals, this is interesting. This is another company that was featured by a recommending site today. So I would assume the share price is up. Island Pharmaceuticals, share price down 17.5%. Or maybe it was recommended yesterday and I only read the email today. There's a chance that happened. No. I'm trying to remember who mentioned this company. Whoever mentioned it, well, unfortunately, share price has gone in the opposite direction. And that's it. Top losers by market cap. Minres down, Champion Iron, Vulcan, Duratec, Findi down. Findi share price keeps on dropping. I'm just going to have a quick look at Findi because share price is now below 4. Oh, there's a nice little support at about 350. I thought it was about 4, but it's about 350. So between 3 and 350 is a nice little support level for Findi. And any other top losers I really want to talk about right now? No. The other top 5 stock is not here. That's interesting. I thought it might have been here. In fact, if it was here, it'd be up near the top. Okay, now before we have a look at the top 5 stocks of the day, just briefly mention some of the companies that did not quite make it. Yeah, I was going to only mention MVF, Monash. Mika Metals, share price up. Now, gold's had a good day, but Mika Metals also announced process plant commissioning underway, and they'll get their first cash flow in July. First gold sales and cash flow in early July 2025. I bought some Mika Metals 6 months ago, was it? Let's have a look to see how... January, so almost 6 months ago, at 9.4 cents. I thought this was almost a no-brainer. They did release something really good on that day. There was drilling results, and I thought there's almost uncertainty. I wouldn't say 100% certainty, but I thought there was a pretty good chance that the share price would eventually get above 10 cents. And yeah, a really nice chart for Mika Metals. So I'm happy to be trading that one. And Lynch Group, which is a flour company. Ooh, share price up 6% for Lynch Group on a nice little trading update. Now, one of the reasons why I decided not to include this company in top 5, it's meagerly traded. Yes, it's meagerly traded. And the reason I knew that is when I had a look at the chart was a bit of a turn off for me. So this is the chart for Lynch Group. Yeah, it's meagerly traded and the chart wasn't looking that good. And it's also a flour company. So it looks like people are buying more flowers in Australia. I'm pretty sure they have operations in China as well. And the other one, who I mentioned ASX. ASX did have they did release something today, but you can see the share price has not really moved. Where was it? Oh, financial guidance. I had a look at that, and it was all their guidance was in sort of the middle of their original. All their forecasts were in the, or their revised guidance were in the middle of the previous range. So that means the share price probably shouldn't move, and the share price is flat. And finally, Monash up 7.44%. Resignation of CEO and Managing Director. I thought when I saw this, this could see the share price fall a bit, but particularly because of his name, fairly similar name. They might have forgot about this one. So, what's his name? The board has accepted Michael Knaap's KNAAP resignation as CEO, and the market has seen this as a fairly good positive move from the company and from Mr. Knaap. Obviously, the company has gone through some troubles, and I think it's probably a good idea to bring in some new management because third strike and you're out. They've had 2 pretty bad strikes, and I think a third strike, and that would be really bad for Monash. And that's why the share price is up. So I did buy it, I think it was at 61 cents. So I will probably sell this if it gets above 75 cents. That would be like a 20% return. That's all I'm wanting for this little trade is a nice little cash grab if the share price can get to that level. Okay, now on to the top 5 stocks of the day, starting with the company that has not shown up yet in the top gainers and top losers. That is Cochlear. Cochlear provides update to financial year 25 earnings guidance. Now, I'm not sure. Well, I am shocked the share price is not down as much as it is, but they did announce just after this that they are launching a new cochlear implant system. So I read the first announcement first, the initial announcement first, and then I thought, oh, the share price is going to plummet because this was a downgrade. They're talking about slower than expected sales growth, underlying net profit of 390 to 400 million. We had anticipated a single-digit decline in service revenue after 2 years of strong growth, and now expected to decline by low double digits. So this was just overall pretty negative from the company. But they also announced, I think this was strategic. They also announced a new cochlear implant system. And I'm wondering if the whole reason why the share price hasn't collapsed today is because of this update from the company. So some bad news and some possible good news. Anyway, so the other thing I should mention is the share price of Cochlear did open down 8%. Yes, so this is another example of sometimes why we shouldn't sell on open. So we can actually look at that. Look at that rally. Within the first 5 minutes, it had almost, well, actually in the first, so it started trading at 10.02, and by 10.14, the share price had returned to back where it was. So someone sold at 8%, a loss of 8%. Yeah, it opened down 8%. I can't believe that. So it rebounded almost back to where it started. And if we have a look at the daily chart, and the share price did bounce or open at the previous low. Now, no reasons to be owning this if you're just trading it because the chart looks pretty negative. So the only reason I might be holding this is if I do think this is a really high quality company and there's really good value right now. That's the only reason I might buy this if I saw there was really good value in this high quality company. I should do a video on that. I think I have looked at this company quite a few times in the past, and the main thing I've come away after looking at Cochlear is I do think the market believes this company is higher quality than it actually is. And that's based off the PE ratio and the lack of growth to justify the high valuation. Yes. So anyway, I might do a video on Cochlear. I'm not sure if I've done a Cochlear. I think I have. Cochlear profit up. Oh, is Cochlear undervalued or overvalued? February 25, 2023. More than likely, I probably said it's overvalued. Okay, let's go and have a look at company coming in number 4. And this one is Clover. This has been an absolute disaster. Listed on the ASX about 3 or 4 years ago. I actually I had a close look at it and I went, ooh, close look. Close, not close. I had a look at this company and I did take a trading position in it because the chart looked okay. Then I had a closer look and I went, ooh, yeah, I'm going to get out this one, even though the chart looked okay at that point. It was sort of a conglomeration or of quite a few different companies in this space. So close the loop refers to a closed economy, just recycling everything or recycling everything, which I suppose is good in concept, but just because something sounds good doesn't mean it's going to work. Anyway, the company has been really disappointing over the last probably year, maybe even more than that. So when I saw the company release a financial year 25 financial performance update, I thought pretty good chance this is going to be a pretty disappointing update from Close the Loop, not Close the Loop, Close the Loop. So revenue remains in line with first half, but EBITDA for second half expected to be 50% lower than the first half. EBITDA has been impacted by continued underperformance of the refurbishment and ITAD operations in North America. I'm wondering if those have been acquisitions the company have made. I'm pretty sure they made some acquisitions after they did list. Oops, excuse me. They've also in process of appointing a new CEO for its North American refurbishment. So change in leadership there as well. But anyway, another really disappointing result from the company. Revenue, talking about this, underlying EBITDA, earnings, probably I've already mentioned that. And that's probably the only numbers that are worth noticing. The poor performance in the why can't I say that word? The poor performance in the refurbishment business has been exacerbated by a software virus, along with a range of other production challenges. So this company has experiencing a lot of challenges, including viruses, software viruses. Okay, so negative update from the company. And I think there's just no reason to even think about getting into this one. Because look at this chart. This is one of the most negative charts you'll see. Share price has dropped by 95%, 95%. Oh no, 90%. So share price did get to a high of 50 cents back in June 2023, 2 years ago. So in 2 years ago, share price has dropped 90%. So you can see right after it listed, the share price was in a nice little uptrend. This was in 2022. And I did take a trading position in this. I do like these sort of trades of recent listed companies. Now, one of the reasons I was a little bit nervous about this was the company didn't release any positive news. Share price was just going up. And I think the reason why there was a bit of positive momentum in the company's share price was just because environmental. And then I got out because I had a closer look and I was like, I don't know about this one. So this is where sometimes fundamentals or looking at the company itself can be beneficial. And to be honest with you, it wasn't a bad decision at all, because you can see the share price didn't really do much. Share price got to a high about 50 cents and really didn't do much. But then the bad news started to roll in on the 26th of August, so less than a year ago. Share price on that day dropped 25%, fell from about 30 cents down to 23 cents. And this company has continued to release really negative news. I think it was a takeover bid at one point. Pretty sure the reason why the share price rallied in November, takeover bid fell through. And look at that. Awful. Share price down to 5.2 cents. So we can move on to number 3. Company coming in number 3. Going from a negative to a really positive one. Clover Corperation, share price up 20.73%. We haven't seen a lot of volatility in the share price today. Open at 50 cents, high 50.5, low 48. So we haven't seen a lot of volatility. Clover earnings upgrade. That's all you need to do when you have an upgrade. Just say upgrade or earnings upgrade. Don't even have to put Clover there. Just put earnings upgrade. And in the meat of the announcement, all you have to do is one line. We are upgrading our earnings by 20% or something like that. Now, this is based off market consensus. So they're expected to outperform market consensus by approximately 20%. Full-year sales are expected to exceed market consensus, 79 million. They didn't say how much they're going to exceed market consensus. Now, I wouldn't say the first time, but 3 months ago, they released results. Is that right? What month are we in here? Yeah, March. They did release results in March, and the results were actually quite good. That's why the share price of Clover Corporation bounced up on that day. So we can see it bouncing up after the share price had dropped. So it bounced up 16.9% on that day. And the share price looks like it was trying to move into an uptrend, but it just fell away. And the share price fell back to below 40 cents. And today, share price has hovered around 50 cents. I would prefer to see the share price get above 55 cents, get to a new high. That would be not new high, but we're talking about a high beating the 30th of March high. And then there's also another high from October last year at around about 58 to 59 cents. So if we do see the share price of this company get to 60 cents, that would mean the share price is a long-term high, and that would be a really good moving sign. That would be a really good momentum or bullish movement in the share price of this company. Now, the other thing I should mention is I don't think this company is that expensive. So unaudited profit to outperform market consensus. Now, I'm not sure if this 5.5 million is market consensus or that is their unaudited profit. So this full-year sales expected to exceed market consensus. I'm assuming the number in brackets there is the market consensus. And they are expected to beat that by 20%. So if they're expected to beat profit by 20%, that would mean that their profit's going to be roughly about $7 million. And the markup of this company currently is about $80 million. So that means the P ratio, based off their financial year 25 profit, would be only like 11, which is not too stretched. So 82.6 million market cap. Okay, so I think there is potential upside, particularly if they can release more positive news, and they expect maybe financial year 26 to be even better than financial year 25. So I do think there's good signs moving forward for Clover Corporation. That is why I'm thinking of buying some shares in this company as a trade. I think the low has been reached. By the way, if you have a look at the long-term chart, you can just see the share price has dropped a lot the last few years. In fact, let's have a look at the weekly chart. So Matterhorn pattern, and I think maybe we're at the sea level. Yeah, you don't want to buy at the top of a mountain. You want to buy at sea level. And the share price has been going sideways for about over a year now. So I think the bottom has been reached. So a nice little consolidation phase right now for Clover Corporation. Pretty good volume coming in today. That's another good sign. Okay, that's Clover Corporation coming in number 3. Coming in number 2 is Bioxyne. Share price up 26.92%. Go Bioxyne. Revenue guidance upgrade. So this is another one where they put the word they're supposed to put in the title. Upgrade. I am not shocked this has happened. In fact, I'm more shocked that people were selling this one. I'm not shocked this was happening because they were forecasting revenue to be $25 million for financial year, yet they were better than half of that in the first half. So they were guiding for revenue of 25 million. First half revenue was 12.6 million. Went, wait on, you're really expanding your revenue, but you're forecasting your revenue for the full year to be, or the second half to be actually less than the first half. And I was thinking, there's a good chance there will be an upgrade from this company. Anyway, so they've upgraded revenue from 25 to 28 million. And this company has really hit the straps, I suppose you can say. They've moved into the medicinal cannabis space. I forget what they were doing before. Not bioxins. What do you call it? Probiotics. I think they were in probiotics. They've moved into I think they acquired a company called Breathe Life Sciences, and that particular subsidiary has been doing really well over the last few years, and we've seen, or this company has seen some pretty good growth in that particular sector. They also mentioned some positive outlook for financial year 26, so position for continued growth in that particular year. It's a fairly small company. I think it might be just smaller than Clover. If I had to choose between Clover and Bioxyne, I'll probably choose Clover. Just because it's a little bit of a more mature, not mature company, but I do think it has more history behind it. And I think Bioxyne share price has rallied a fair bit. And I did buy some Bioxyne shares. We'll have a look at this. Bioxyne shares when the share price was 1.2 cents. And I was thinking, when the share price rallied to over 5 cents, I was thinking of selling some shares. But as the share price pulled back, I became less and less inclined to sell some shares. But today we have seen really big volume coming through, and that's a good sign as well. So when I did buy some shares in this one, just after the 23rd of August, that was the other day where there was really good volume, and I bought about 2 weeks later at 1.2 cents. And I was nervous buying at 1.2 cents because it's just above 1 cent. And I am reluctant to buy companies whose share price is around 1 cent. But at least the share price now is 3.3 cents. And I think this is, or could be, the start of a nice positive move for Bioxyne. Okay, coming in, number 1, a no-brainer, Cettire. And I have been thinking about this one as well. I'll tell you why I've been thinking about buying some shares in this one. It would be a higher risk. It would be a high risk buy. I would never, ever, ever, not that I would ever recommend something, but I would never even think about recommending this, even if I could recommend. Anyway, trading update from Cettire, share price down 30%. So I know the company's trading update was really negative, and it was negative. Well, maybe not as negative as down 30%. There was a few little bit concerning things about this one. So a lot of revenue, by the way, gross revenue, sales revenue, a nice small increase. I suppose nice is being a little bit over the top there. So revenue or gross revenue or sales revenue up a little bit from last year. Average order sale up a little bit. Active customers has pulled back a bit. And gross revenue from repeat customers up a little bit. But this company does exist on fairly low margins. So even though a lot of revenue, we're talking about 693.8 million of sales revenue, adjusted EBITDA so far this year, $0.5 million. Ooh, that is horrendous. Talking about weaker demand in established markets during April, May, notably US, not surprising. Continued challenges in global luxury market, amplified by US tariff policy changes. So a fair bit of negativity there, but maybe not 30% negative. However, there was a little bit of a mention of cash position. Company's net cash balance, 45 million net period end. And then I went back and had a look at the trading update they did release. Was it April? Yeah, April, 23rd of April. So we're talking about less than 2 months ago. And I do remember they had a cash position in this. So I went back to this one. This was fairly negative as well. And they had a cash position. Here it is. So less than 2 months ago, this company had a cash balance of $76 million. And now they have a cash balance of $45 million. So the cash has gone from 76 to $45 million, down $31 million in less than 2 months. Now, there could be some explanations for this. There could be a significant increase in working capital. So, for instance, payables, without a likewise increase in receivables, and that could be negative for the cash balance. So who knows, maybe at the next update in 2 months, cash balance could go up to $80 million if that reverses. I would have liked, and maybe I should go through this with a finer detail, I would have liked management to mention why the cash balance has dropped a lot. Just one little mention why, one little explanation would have been really beneficial in this case, because I think one of the reasons why the share price has dropped a lot is because of the net cash balance. It has dropped a lot. Anyway, so why am I thinking about buying shares in this company? There's a chance the market is overreacting. There's a chance it's not, by the way. There's a big chance the market is not overreacting at all. Now, one of the other reasons why is because the low in the company's share price back in the middle of 2022 was 34.5 cents. So we are at those levels right now. Now, I would want a bit of a rally in the company's share price. I don't want to see it go much lower than this because we have seen a fair bit of selling today. Share price is near the low of the day, but I want to see some buying coming in because if it's already got lower, the share price now has got lower than those lows back in 2022, and there's a lot of negative sentiment in this company. Cash balance is a concern. So I'm hoping, just hoping, that the company can clarify the cash position. They should have done that. But the reason this could be a really good trade is if things start turning around, the upside for Cettire, as we've seen in the past, is there's a lot of upside here. We are talking about a 10-fold increase in share price if things turn positive for this company. It's a big if, though. Okay, now onto the chart of the day. This one is one I've been thinking about buying. It's Atlas Arteria. If you have a look at the weekly chart, by the way, we'll start off with the weekly chart. So look at that chart from when they listed or was spun out of somewhere from 2010 through to 2020. Look at that beautiful share price went from 50 cents to $8 over an 8-year period. But since then, it's gone pretty negative. However, you can see a bit of an upside in the weekly chart. But if you have a look at the daily chart, share price has moved from, or the chart, yeah, the share price has moved from a downtrend into an uptrend. So this has been my radar for the last month and a bit. It first got into my radar at the first moving average crossover, and then we saw share price pull back a little bit, and now we've seen it going up again. Share price is at a 1-year high, and you do get a nice little dividend yield as well from this one. Dividend yield is at 7.55%. So I've been thinking of just maybe trading this. So not only do you get a nice, or could get a nice dividend yield, you also could get some nice capital appreciation. So that's the chart of the day. Atlas Arteria, a company I've never held in the past and never thought I would hold. But who knows? Things can change, particularly when it comes to technical analysis. I'm willing to own any company except highly story stocks. Okay, if you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. I was hoping to do one of your comments, but not today. I'll do some of your comments on Saturday. But if you're willing to leave me a comment, put those in the candlestick, not the candlestick, I'm just reading this gravestone candlestick. Put those comments, all your questions, in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.